Admiral Daeho Kim stood at the massive window of the Galactic Alliance's command center, his eyes fixed on the holographic display, showing a single green dot moving through space. After 30 years of serving in the Alliance's First Contact Committee, this was the strangest situation he had ever seen. "Admiral, we have confirmed it again," said Ji-sun Park, walking quickly into the room with a datapad. "The humans are only sending one ship. Just one." Daeho turned away from the window, his face showing mild confusion. "Show me the latest scans." Ji-sun handed him the datapad. The information was clear. A single vessel, approximately 300 meters long, traveling at standard speed toward Alliance space. The ship's design was elegant but simple, nothing like the massive fleet carriers that most species used for first contact. "What do we know about these humans?" Daeho asked, scrolling through the data. "Not much, Admiral. They achieved spaceflight only 200 years ago. They colonized their solar system, then went quiet for about 50 years. We thought they had given up on space travel." Ji-sun paused, checking her notes. "Then, about 10 years ago, they suddenly appeared on 3 different planets outside their system. No one saw how they got there." Daeho walked to his desk, pressing a button to bring up a larger hologram of the human ship. "And now they want to talk to us. With one ship." "The other Alliance members are worried," Ji-sun said. "The Vraks think it's a trap. The Malorians want to send a battle fleet to meet them. Even the peaceful Lantarians are nervous." "What's the ship's name?" Daeho asked, zooming in on the vessel's hull. "They call it HS Determination, Admiral." Daeho smiled slightly. "Interesting choice of name." Ji-sun moved closer to the hologram, her face lit by its blue glow. "Sir, there's something else. The energy readings from their ship. They don't make sense." "Explain." "Well, the ship is using some kind of drive we've never seen before. It's not leaving any radiation trail, no subspace distortion, nothing we usually see from engines. It's like," she struggled to find the right words, "like it's just deciding where it wants to be." Daeho raised an eyebrow. "That's impossible." "Yes, sir. It should be." Ji-sun brought up another screen. "And there's more. The ship's power output is weird. Sometimes it reads as barely enough to run life support. Other times," she pointed to a spike in the data, "we get readings that would be enough to power a small sun." Before Daeho could respond, the room's communication system activated. A deep voice spoke in the formal tones of the Vraks. "Admiral Kim, the Council requests your presence. The human ship has sent a message." In the Council chamber, representatives from 30 different species sat in rising tiers around a central platform. Daeho stood on this platform, watching as the human message played. A calm female voice spoke in perfect Alliance standard. "Greetings, Galactic Alliance. I am Captain Sun Ni Lee of the HSS Determination. We come seeking diplomatic contact. We are 1 day from your borders. We look forward to meeting you." The message ended, leaving the chamber in silence. Finally, a Vraks representative spoke up. "That's it. No formal declarations. No fleet manifestos. No protection demands." "Maybe they're just very confident," Daeho said quietly. "Or very foolish," the Vraks replied. Daeho looked up at the council members, his voice firm. "I recommend we greet them with full diplomatic honors. And," he paused, choosing his words carefully, "I suggest we be very, very observant." As the council debated, Daeho thought about the strange energy readings, the impossible engine, and the simple, polite message. One ship, just one ship. He had a feeling things in the galaxy were about to change. The Alliance's greeting fleet was massive. 500 ships formed a perfect triangle in space, their hulls gleaming under the light of nearby stars. Admiral Daeho Kim had made sure every ship was polished and every crew member was in perfect uniform. If the humans were going to send just one ship, the Alliance would show them what they were dealing with. The HSS Determination has entered our space, Jae-sun announced from her station. They're maintaining their course and speed. On the main screen of the Alliance flagship, the human ship appeared. It was beautiful in a simple way, with smooth lines and a white hull that seemed to glow. No weapon ports were visible, which made several Alliance officers nervous. "Open a channel," Daho ordered. The screen changed to show the bridge of the Determination. Captain Sunma Lee stood in the center, wearing a plain black uniform with silver trim. She smiled warmly. "Admiral Kim, thank you for this impressive welcome," she said, bowing slightly. Daho bowed back, noting how calm she seemed. "Captain Lee, on behalf of the Galactic Alliance, we welcome you. A fleet of 500 ships just to greet little old us." Sun's eyes twinkled. "You shouldn't have gone to so much trouble." A Vrax commander stepped forward. "It is standard protocol to show our strength during first contact." "Ah, I see." Sunma nodded. "Well, we thought it would be rude to overwhelm you with numbers. That's why we came alone." The Vrax commander's scales turned pale. Before he could respond, Ji-sun spoke up. "Captain Lee, our scans show your crew complement is only 200 people. Is this correct?" "Yes, that's right," Sunmai replied. "More than enough for our needs." The Alliance officers looked at each other in confusion. Most of their smaller ships needed at least 1,000 crew members to operate properly. "Captain," Daho said carefully, "would you be willing to dock with our flagship for face-to-face discussions?" "Of course, Admiral. Though," Sunmai paused, looking at something off-screen, "your docking bay seems a bit small for us. Would you mind if we made it bigger?" Before anyone could say that was impossible, a soft blue light shot from the Determination. Where it touched the Alliance flagship's hull, the metal simply moved. The docking bay stretched and reshaped itself like clay in an artist's hands. In seconds, it was large enough to fit the human ship. Complete silence fell over the Alliance bridge. "There, that's better," Sunmai said cheerfully. "We'll dock in 5 minutes. Oh, and don't worry about the modifications. The metal will return to its original shape when we leave." The screen went dark. Daho turned to his crew, who were all staring at the docking bay camera feed in shock. "Admiral," Ji-sun whispered, "they just reshaped our strongest battle-grade metal like it was nothing, without even touching it." "I know." Daho straightened his uniform. "And they showed us that power in the kindest, most helpful way possible." "Should we be scared?" someone asked. Daho watched as the Determination gracefully moved toward the docking bay. "No," he said slowly, "but we should definitely pay attention." As they waited for the humans to dock, Daho thought about Captain Sun's words. "We thought it would be rude to overwhelm you with numbers." Looking at his massive fleet now, he wondered if perhaps the Alliance had been the rude ones. The docking procedure began, smooth and perfect. Daho took a deep breath and prepared to meet these humans who could reshape metal with light and fly across the galaxy in ways that defied physics. One ship. Now he was starting to understand why they only needed one. The meeting room on the Alliance flagship was filled with representatives from 20 different species. They all watched as Captain Sunmi Lee and her chief engineer Taiwan Kang set up a small silver box on the conference table. "Before we begin formal talks," Sunmai said, "we'd like to show you something." "Taiwan, please explain." Taiwan stepped forward, his friendly face making even the nervous Brax delegates relax a little. "We understand you're all curious about our ship's capabilities, so we thought a small demonstration would help." Admiral Daho Kim leaned forward. "What kind of demonstration?" "A simple one," Taiwan said, touching the silver box. It opened like a flower, revealing a tiny model of the Determination. "This is a real-time projection of our ship. Watch what it can do." The model lifted off the table and hung in the air. Then it disappeared. Suddenly, every screen in the room lit up. They showed the real Determination vanishing from the docking bay. Before anyone could react, The ship appeared near a gas giant 2 systems away. Then it was near a blue star, then beside a black hole. Each jump took less than a second. "Impossible," shouted a Malorian scientist. "The energy needed for such travel would." The determination appeared back in the docking bay, exactly where it had been. "We don't use much energy," Taiwan said simply. "We just take shortcuts." Jai-sun checked her instruments. "Admiral, according to our readings, the determination visited 6 different locations in 5 seconds. Each jump was over 1,000 light-years." The room erupted in chaos. Species that had been enemies for centuries now whispered to each other in shared amazement. A Lantarian dropped her datapad. The Vrak's commander's scales changed to pure white. Sun Mai raised her hand for quiet. "There's more." "Tadwan." The engineer nodded and touched the silver box again. The model determination glowed softly. In space, the real ship did the same. Then it split into 4 perfect copies. "Don't worry," Tadwan said to the panicking Alliance members. "They're all real. We can make more if needed." Daeho found his voice. "You can duplicate your ship. Only temporarily," Sun Mai explained. "It's useful for exploration and emergencies. The copies last about 6 hours." The copies merged back into one ship. The model on the table did the same. "One more thing," Taiwan said. He pressed something on the box. The model determination shrank until it was smaller than a grain of rice, then grew until it filled half the room. Through the windows, they could see the real ship doing the same thing. "Size is flexible for us," Sun Mai said. "Very handy for parking." The ship returned to its normal size. Taiwan closed the silver box as if he hadn't just shown them technology that broke every law of physics they knew. "That's all for now," Sun Mai said. "We have other capabilities, of course, but we don't want to overwhelm you on the first day." The room was silent. Finally, Admiral Daeho stood up. "Captain Lee, I believe I understand now. You sent one ship because one ship is all you needed." Sun Mai smiled. "Not exactly, Admiral. We sent one ship because sending more would have been." She paused, choosing her words carefully. "Unfair." The Alliance members looked at their massive fleet outside, now seeming far less impressive than it had that morning. "Now then," Sun Mai said brightly, "shall we discuss diplomacy?" Daeho looked at the simple silver box, then at the human ship that could bend reality itself. He had a feeling the word diplomacy was about to take on a whole new meaning. The Vrak spy was very good at his job. He had broken into 17 high-security ships before and never failed. But after 4 hours of trying to sneak onto the determination, he was still stuck at the first door. Security Chief Hajun Choi watched the spy on his screens and sipped his tea. 2 more spies, a Malorian and a Lantarian, were also trying to get in. They weren't having any luck either. "Should we stop them?" asked his assistant. "No need," Hajun said calmly. "They're not really getting anywhere. It's actually quite fun to watch." On another screen, Admiral Daeho Kim was walking toward the determination's main entrance with Jae-sun Park. Unlike the spies, they were invited guests. Hajun pressed a button. "Captain, our guests are here. And we have 3 others trying the hard way in." "Let the Admiral in," Sun Mai's voice replied. "The others can keep trying if they want. It's good practice for them." The main door opened for Daeho and Ji-sun. Hajun met them in the entry hall. "Welcome to the determination," he said with a friendly smile. "Would you like to see our security center? Your spies are putting on quite a show." Daeho's face turned red. "I don't know what you mean." "It's okay, Admiral. We've known about Alliance spies since before we entered your space." Hajun led them to his control room. "Look, the Vrax is trying to hack our door controls. The Malorian is attempting to scan through our hull. And the Lantarian, well, she's just gotten herself stuck in a time loop. She'll be fine in about 10 minutes. Jae-sun stared at the screens. You knew they were coming. We know many things, He-jun said. For example, we know the Alliance has been watching Earth for 70 years. Now it was Ji-sun's turn to blush. How did you? Your observation posts are very well hidden, He-jun said. We found them about 60 years ago. They were very helpful. We learned all your languages from them. Thank you for that, by the way. Daeho sat down heavily in a chair. So when we thought we were studying you, we were studying you too, He-jun finished. Your technology, your politics, your cultures. Very interesting stuff. On the screens, the Vrak spy had finally given up and was heading back to his ship. The Malorian was still scanning, getting more frustrated by the minute. Would you like to meet the Lantarian? He-jun asked. Her time loop is almost done. She's quite nice. Her name is Lyra, and she likes Earth's flower gardens. We added some to our ship's design just for her visit. Daeho looked shocked. You designed part of your ship just for a spy you knew was coming. Of course. We try to be good hosts. He-jun checked another screen. Oh good, she's out of the loop. Would you like to join her for tea? We have her favorite kind. Jae-sun's mouth fell open. You even know her favorite tea. We know everyone's favorites, He-jun said simply. It's easier to make friends that way. As if to prove his point, a door opened to reveal a beautiful garden room. The confused Lantarian spy was there, staring at flowers from her home world. A tea set was ready on a small table. Please, join us, He-jun said. We have so much to talk about. After all, he smiled warmly. We've been neighbors for such a long time. We just thought it was finally time to say hello properly. Daeho looked at the garden, the tea, and the screens showing the retreating spies. One ship, he thought. One ship that had known everything about them all along. Maybe, he realized, humans were better at spying than anyone had guessed. The Alliance Council chamber was completely silent as Science Officer Min Ji-yoon stood at the center. Her presentation screen showed a simple star map. You think you know what space is, Min Ji said softly. But you're only seeing the surface of a very deep ocean. She pressed a button. The star map changed, showing layers upon layers of reality that no Alliance species had ever seen before. This is what we see, she explained. Your fastest ships take months to cross one sector. We can step through these layers and arrive anywhere almost instantly. Admiral Daeho sat forward. Why are you showing us this now? Because, Captain Sunmai said from her seat, it's time you understood why we really came. Min-ji changed the display again. This time it showed something that made every Alliance member gasp. A massive object, bigger than a planet, moving through space toward their galaxy. We detected this 3 years ago, Min-ji said. It's not from any known space. It's not even from this level of reality. And it's hungry. What do you mean, hungry? Jae-sun asked. It eats space itself, Min-ji explained. It has already eaten 3 galaxies and other layers of reality. Your weapons can't touch it. Your shields can't stop it. But we can help. The room burst into noise. Some council members shouted in fear, others in anger. A few simply sat in shocked silence. Sunmai stood up. We didn't come to join the Alliance, she said clearly. We came to invite the Alliance to join us. Join you? Avrak's counselor asked. But we are 30 species. You are just one. Min-ji smiled gently. Numbers aren't everything. We've spent the last 60 years preparing to protect this galaxy. We have ships that can move between realities. We have weapons that can fight things that shouldn't exist. We have cities bigger than solar systems, hidden in spaces between spaces. She touched her screen one more time. The image showed thousands of human ships, all hiding in layers of reality the Alliance couldn't even see. The Determination isn't our only ship, Min-ji said. It's just the only one we let you see. The others have been guarding you for decades. Daeho stood up slowly. You've been protecting us. From what? Everything. Sun Mai said. Things that swim in dark matter. Beings that eat time. Empires from other realities that want to invade. We stopped them all. Quietly. Carefully. Without letting you know there was even danger. Like parents protecting children. Someone whispered. No, Minji said firmly. Like friends protecting friends who aren't ready for the deeper ocean yet. But now you need to be ready. Because that thing is coming, and we'll need your help to fight it. Our help? Ji-sun asked. But you're so far ahead of us. What could we possibly do? Minji's face lit up with genuine excitement. You think in ways we don't. You see patterns we miss. You have technologies that work on levels we never considered. Together, we could be something amazing. Besides, Sun Mai added, we like you. All of you. Your art, your music, your stories, your dreams. We've been watching you grow, and we think it's time you took your place among the real powers of the universe. The council chamber was quiet again, but this time it was a different kind of quiet. It was the quiet of people beginning to understand just how big the universe really was. So, Minji said, would you like to learn how to swim in the deep ocean? One by one, the council members looked at each other. They had thought they were meeting a new species. Instead, they were meeting their hidden guardians, their secret protectors, their unknown friends. And now they had to decide if they were ready to become something more. The Alliance ships hung in space, divided into two groups. On one side, those who wanted to fight against the humans. On the other, those who wanted to join them. In the middle, the determination floated peacefully, waiting. Admiral Dae-ho Kim stood on his bridge, watching the split in the Alliance grow wider. The Vraks led the resistance, their battle fleet of 200 ships ready for war. The Lentarians led those who wished to learn from humanity, their ships decorated with peace symbols. This is madness, Ju-sun said, checking the battle readings. The Vraks really think they can win against the humans. Fear makes people do foolish things, Dae-ho replied. The main screen lit up, showing Captain Sun Mi's face. She looked sad, but not worried. Admiral, the Vraks fleet is charging weapons. We should probably show them why that's a bad idea. How? Dae-ho asked. Sun Mi smiled. Remember how we showed you one ship can become 4? Would you like to see what else we've been hiding? She pressed a button. Suddenly, the space around the determination seemed to ripple. Like curtains being pulled back, the empty space revealed what was behind it. 10,000 human ships appeared. They had been there all along, hidden in plain sight. Ships of all sizes, from tiny scouts to massive carriers that made Alliance battleships look like toys. They formed a sphere around the Alliance fleet, a perfect wall of advanced technology. By the stars, Ji-sun whispered. Don't worry, Sun Mi said. These aren't warships. They're mostly science vessels, exploration ships, and teaching craft. We brought our teachers, not our soldiers. On the other side of the fleet split, the Vraks ships quickly powered down their weapons. Now then, Sun Mi continued, let's talk about that thing that's coming to eat our galaxy, shall we? We have about 6 months before it arrives, and we'd really like to work together on this. A new voice cut in, the Vraks fleet commander. You could have conquered us at any time, he said shakily. Why didn't you? Because that's not who we are, Sun Mi replied. We don't want subjects or servants. We want partners, friends, people to explore the deeper ocean with us. The Vraks ships slowly moved away from their attack position. One by one, they joined the group that wanted to work with the humans. Smart choice, Sun Mi said warmly. Now, who would like to see what's in these ships? We have libraries of impossible things, gardens of time flowers, windows that look into other universes. And that's just the basic stuff. The Alliance ships began to move together again, fear turning to curiosity. Admiral Kim, Sun Mi said, would you do us the honor of being first? We have something special to show you. Daeho looked at his crew, saw the wonder in their eyes. "What is it?" "A room where you can hold a star in your hands," Sunmai said. "And then we'll show you how to build one." The bridge crew gasped. Ji-sun's eyes went wide. "Oh, and Admiral," Sunmai added with a smile. "Remember how we said the Determination was just one ship? Well, it's also a school. And class is about to begin." Looking at the massive fleet of human ships around them, Daeho finally understood. The humans hadn't sent one ship to impress them or frighten them. They had sent one ship to invite them to class. And now, as the Alliance fleet moved together again, united in curiosity rather than divided by fear, it was time for their first lesson in how the universe really worked. Outside the ships, the stars seemed to shine a little brighter, as if they too were eager to see what would happen next. 6 months had passed since the Determination first entered Alliance space. Admiral Daeho Kim stood in the impossible room, watching his fellow Alliance members learn to bend reality itself. Min Ji-yoon moved among the students, helping a young Vrax shape light into solid forms. Nearby, Lantarian scientists worked with Taiwan to understand the spaces between spaces. In the corner, Jun taught a group of former spies how to step through time. "It's amazing how quickly they're learning," Sunmai said, appearing beside Daeho. "Did you really think we could do this?" he asked. "We knew you could. That's why we waited and watched for so long. We needed to be sure you were ready." Through the room's special windows, they could see the massive thing approaching their galaxy. It was closer now, its hunger obvious in the way it swallowed light itself. But no one was afraid anymore. "Show me again," Daeho said to Sunmai. "Show me what we're going to do." Sunmai waved her hand, creating a model of their galaxy in the air. "The combined fleet is almost ready. Your people brought ideas we never thought of. The Vrax found a way to turn the creature's hunger against itself. The Lantarians discovered how to sing to the spaces between realities." "And the humans?" Ji-sun asked, joining them. "We're providing the stage," Sunmai said. "All these different magics working together needs a special kind of space. That's what the Determination was really built for. It's not just a ship or a school. It's a key to unlock the perfect battlefield." Outside, the Alliance human fleet gathered, 10,000 human ships and 500 Alliance vessels, now working as one. Each ship carried crews from different species, all learning from each other. "It's time," Jun called from his station. The Determination moved to the front of the fleet. It began to grow, larger and larger, until it was bigger than a moon. Its hull opened like a flower, revealing spaces that shouldn't exist. "All ships, take position," Sunmai ordered. The fleet moved into formation, fitting perfectly into the spaces the Determination created. Alliance weapons powered up alongside human reality drives. Vrax battle computers linked with human time sensors. Lantarian energy fields merged with human space folders. "The enemy is here," Minji announced. The thing between realities reached out to take its first bite of their galaxy. But this time, something was waiting for it. "Now," Sunmai said quietly. The Determination's hull flashed. The fleet moved as one. Reality itself bent to their combined will. The creature found itself not facing food, but facing something new. A weapon made from the combined knowledge of 31 species, all working together. The battle was brief but beautiful. The creature, faced with power it had never seen before, tried to retreat. But the spaces it used to escape were now controlled by the fleet. The hunger it used to eat galaxies was turned back on itself. In the end, it didn't explode or die. It simply changed, becoming something new and harmless, like a star being born. "That," Sunmai said with satisfaction, "is what happens when we work together." Daeho looked at the celebrating crews, all the different species mixing together, sharing their joy and pride. "So what now?" he asked. "Now," Sunmai smiled. "Now we really start exploring. There are deeper oceans waiting, bigger adventures calling. And this time, we go together." As equals, Ji-sun asked. As friends, Sun-me corrected. That's what we wanted all along. That's why we sent just one ship. Not to show our power, but to offer our friendship. The determination shrank back to its normal size, once again looking simple and elegant. But now everyone knew what it really was, not just a ship, but a beginning. One ship had been enough. One ship had changed everything. And somewhere in the deep ocean of space, new adventures were waiting for them all.